Boom, boom, boom. Give everybody just a second to come into the stream where we share on all platforms. And we are officially green check marks across the board on this Wednesday, November 5th in the year 2025. Tom, as the Denver Broncos have started a new November, the win streak, it's continued. We got past Halloween. We got through an undefeated October. It's primetime football, Broncos, Raiders. We got to get to a huge injury report, get to some keys to victory, get ready for those damn Raiders. But before we do, who are we? We are MHI. What is up, Broncos country? We are here rocking with you every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Mountain. He is Thomas Hall. I'm Luke Patterson, Scott Kennedy on the ones and twos. Tom, man, surviving Houston, the Texans game. We got to get into some leftovers, 18-15. And here the Broncos are 7-2, tied for the hottest win streak in all the NFL with those Patriots.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since we could look at the Broncos record and say they're 7-2. It's after 9 games. It hasn't happened that many times. I don't know if you saw my tweet. It only happened 14 times in their history that they were 7-2. Almost about 60, almost 70% of the time they made the AFC Championship game at the very least.
When was the last time they went 7-2?
2015 was the last time they were 7-2 or better.
Goosebumps. Better. 10-year anniversary year, Tom. Crazy things are happening.
Yeah. So I mean, it's refreshing to see that. And I know people are like, oh, they got lucky or whatever. No. Good teams win. They figure out a way to win. They've been struggling. They've obviously have some mental mistakes. Again, other mistakes that they shouldn't be making, but they found a way to win. That's what good teams do. People were giving the Chiefs crap about, barely making it, and they were going to be a terrible team. They ended up in the Super Bowl. So, I mean, I don't buy into the luck. So 7-2 is 7-2. You are what your record says you are, as the old adage goes.
Who was that? Well, that wasn't Art, was it? Or that was Dennis Green. That was the late Dennis Green, if I'm not mistaken. And we let him off the hook. I'll never rest in peace. Now, here's the thing, man. The Broncos got lucky. There ain't nothing lucky about not allowing a single touchdown all game. Right. Something the Broncos have done multiple times this season, Tom. So to add to your point, there's no luck in it. Sure, there's some fortune, and there was also misfortune as the Houston Texans realized losing CJ Stroud, right? We could always wonder what that game would have looked like, but it is what it is. Thoughts and prayers for CJ. It seems like he's going to miss this week, but he is okay. I was happy with our guys' performance and Chris Abrams' drain. I was happy the level of character that the Broncos have. Not a dirty hit. And people can call this game lucky, a lucky win all they want. This was a devastating hit that drives me crazy on social media because that's not what we saw. This is a team that's trying to be more disciplined, but they're definitely not dirty. You know who's dirty? Our guy David, Dirty Dave, coming in here with the $2 soup. What's up, Dave? Hopefully you and yours are doing well. Hey, man, Dave's on to something. Good evening, Broncos country. I've been telling you since the summer, 13-4 or 14-3. Pick your record, Tom.
Well, I'll tell you what, if they can finish up before the bye at 9-2, if they can get to 9-2, which is still possible, you got the Raiders and then the Chiefs visit, and I know they're banged up. I mean, missing Pat Surtain, if he's not in that Chiefs game, is going to be, it's going to make it tougher. But if they can, then 13-4 is definitely there for the taking. I mean, and in fact, it would also put the final nail in the Chiefs' coffin when it comes to winning that AFC West, if they can beat them and send them to 5-5 and probably put them out of the playoffs as well.
It almost feels just a little too good to be true here in Denver right now, because even what we thought would be a worst case scenario hasn't happened yet. What am I talking about? Pat Surtain and that damn pectoral strain or whatever it is, the pectoral injury. We were thinking season-ending injury potentially. Broncos are going to try to ride it out. They did not place PS2 on IR over a week ago when they could have started the clock. They're saying, hey, we're going to roll with these next 2 games, the Raiders and the Chiefs, see what happens after the bye. And then we're wondering what's going to happen in the Houston Texans game with all these receivers, right? With the Nico Collins, even Schultz, Dalton Schultz, their leading receiver, tight end. The Broncos were able to withstand a Houston Texans team that has a lot of talent. They're very well coached too. There were some bonehead mistakes. We're going to get into those, but I appreciate David and Broncos Country for tuning in to MHI, where you can catch us every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Mountain. If you'd like to reach out to Tom, please do so at Thomas Hall NFL over on X. Yours truly at Luke Patterson LP. David Yonkin, back-to-back David on David crime, $4.99 over on Wednesday nights. Can Sean Payton please tell Bandy to let the ball go into the end zone? Tom, David is, of course, referencing the muffed punt down in Houston. Tell us what you saw, what your thoughts were. Lord knows I was cursing and screaming at the television.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a big mistake. It happens when you're playing a backup there that hasn't been in a game all year, I don't think, hasn't returned a punt all year. I mean, those kind of things happen. My problem with it is it was a bunch of special teams mistakes, not just one single mistake. To me, that goes back to the man that Sean Payton had to have because he got rid of McMahon to bring in Rizzi, and there's been a lot of mistakes. So, I mean, yeah, that was a huge mistake by Bandy for sure, but it wasn't a single incident for special teams. And you got to start worrying because this has been happening over and over again this year where there's been mistakes. Now with Marvin Mims, when he comes back and is healthy, I'm not as worried about that type of stuff. But you got Bandy. They went out and brought in Jalen Virgil. It's a recognizable name for a tryout. I know he was kind of kicking around back when he was on the team, whether he could do any returning. So they're looking for something in hopes to get by until Marvin Mims comes back.
I don't know. It kind of goes with the theme of this team with boneheaded mistakes and penalties. I can't think on one phase where it hasn't happened. So I suppose it's a conversation worth having if you really want to go there. And I know the fellas got into it this week. Should Darren Rizzi be terminated? There's an article floating around over at milehighhuddle.com. There's debates on these airwaves. I got to tell you, no, he shouldn't be terminated. This is a head coaching thing. Sean, you got to figure out a way as the head coach to get your guys to buy in and be disciplined. It got much better on the defensive side of the ball. I will give Sean Payton that and Vance Joseph his flowers. A lot better. Riley Moss could have been flagged out the you-know-what in Houston, but he played smart, took that recovery step, and didn't grab. And I absolutely loved seeing it. So Riley had a very, very good game. When you look at the Broncos and the Raiders, it's a short week, right? The NFL trade deadline came and went yesterday, and the Broncos, so many reports, Tom, talking about like, oh, the Broncos are going to be super active at the wide receiver, the tight end position for weeks. And then the day of, was it Jordan Schultz or somebody out there? Oh, the Broncos are thinking about causing a major Blake storm or whatever it was. And nothing happened. Talk me through your emotions with the NFL trade deadline, because I got to be honest, if the Broncos aren't trading for players, you really think they're going to fire their special teams coach after a couple of snafus in Houston? No, that's not going to happen. This is a team that feels they are most playoff ready now. Sean expects this team to go deep into the playoffs. I think this team is starting to believe that they can cause some real damage. Just look at their 6-game win streak. They're one of 2 teams that are undefeated at home. They've got a 1-game lead in the AFC West over the 6-3 Los Angeles Chargers, and they're playing in their Orange Crush 70s throwback jerseys again, Tom, on Thursday Night Football for the whole world to enjoy. The best uniform in professional sports is coming to an Amazon Prime televised event near you. I can't wait. Why am I getting so excited about the throwback jerseys? Because there's something there. Last time you look good, you play good. They hung 27 points ish on Dallas in the first half. We got to start fast against the Raiders.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I love the throwbacks. So watching them in those, it's always awesome. And whether or not that means they are going to be victorious because of the uniform, I don't really buy into it, but whatever we can do to get our hopes up for the Thursday night game, that's fine with me. But I would like to go back to your question about the trade deadline. I was not too excited about them going to do anything. And then you start getting all these reports that they were, and it actually kind of was like piqued my interest. Like maybe they are. And I think they were looking, but I just don't think there was anybody that they were willing to give a lot for that would make a significant difference on this team. I thought that there might be somebody that can bring in a depth piece. I was hoping, as you know, for McCoy, the center out of New Orleans, but he got hurt and that was out. I think that might have been something that they would have done. But it's just one of those things where it was anticlimactic, which is fine with me, because you're not going to find a superstar at the trade deadline that's going to come in and make your team completely different and not give up the house like Indy had to do for Sauce Gardner, 2 first-round picks. I mean, that's a lot to give up. So it's one of those things where I kind of got excited when I wasn't before, because of all the reports that are coming out that they're going to do something, but I just couldn't see who it was. I just couldn't see, who they were going to really put out a lot of draft capital for.
Well, an unpopular opinion, I'm not a Sauce Gardner guy, Tom. I'm not.
Me neither.
I'm not. I think, to be fair, so you know what kind of level of ridiculousness you're dealing with. I wasn't high on Darrelle Revis, if I was being completely honest with you. Yeah, I see talent there, but then those 2 guys in PS2, Champ Bailey, come on now. I see what all the debates on social media. I digress. Phil McLaughlin giving some Facebook support, man. Thank you, Phil. Appreciate all the stars. A ride and die hard here on Wednesday nights with us. Good evening, Thomas, Luke, and Deacon Scott. We better see some improved play from the special teams. Let's hope that the referees are not pass interference happy against Riley Moss. Hashtag Buckham. Tom, Riley Moss popped up on the injury report. We're going to get to that here in just a second. And speaking of Riley Moss, I think in the wake of Pat Surtain's injury, we all look at Riley Moss as a bit of an underdog, right? Well, speaking of underdog, football season, guys, it is in full swing. Underdog is the best place to get in on all of the action. Are you ready to get off the bench and into the game? Head on over to Underdog. Whether you're into basketball, football, hockey, any sport in between, Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action all season long.
That's right. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, pretty much whatever you want. Get your picks right, and you can win up to 5,000 times your cash.
Boom, guys. I have so much fun playing Underdog and winning money while watching football. That's a touchdown, fellas. Download the Underdog app today. Sign up with our promo code MHuddle to score $100 in bonus entries when you place your first $5. That's promo code MHuddle. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next?
18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Boom. Broncos country. It's Wednesday night. This is MHI. He's Thomas Hall. I'm Luke Patterson. We're getting you ready for Thursday night football. Broncos, Raiders. Get those predictions in on the comment section. Get to the front of the line. Super Facebook stars. Any sort of donation, we get you on the screen. Just like our guy David Yonkin, an exclusive member of the MHH community, I might add. Head on over to YouTube. Subscribe for MHH exclusive content. David's calling a shot. I absolutely love it. 44-20 Broncos tomorrow. David, you're looking like some of the predictions I was reading about on MileHighHuddle.com's official Mile High Roundtable, Tom, where I've noticed we're all, for the most part, the Broncos record, 7-2. And there are a few of us that have a third loss, or I don't think anyone's got a fourth loss on there, but I don't think I'm telling any tales out of school when I say I don't think a single staff writer went with the Las Vegas Raiders on Thursday Night Football.
I don't think so. I mean, you got to, on paper, it's one of those things where the Raiders are a bad team. The Broncos are a good team. It's at home. Raiders just traded away their number one wide receiver. I mean, they're a mess. So
number two, technically, he was the number two, but he was. Okay. You're right, Tom. I mean, Jacoby. They were trying to trade both of their wide receivers, and they got rid of one guy. All right, It's ridiculous. And so, I got rid of him to the team that just beat their blank in Las Vegas, the Jacksonville Jaguars. They turn around and trade him away to the team that just made him say daddy a couple days earlier. That's the Raiders.
I know it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing that they did. But this, at the same time, it is the Raiders. They have nothing to play for. They know it. They want to beat their AFC West rival. They're going to come out with all guns ablazing, so to speak. So I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I really hope it is, but you never know with these AFC West rivalries, even with a bad Raiders team, you never know. So I still think the Broncos are going to come out on top. I hope it's a blowout because that's a lot more fun for me on East Coast time now. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
It's going to be exciting, man, to see the Broncos be one of the top dogs in the NFL on primetime action. It's been a minute. It's been a spell.
Yeah.
And how's that Geno Smith, Pete Carroll reunion working out there in Sin City? Just asking for a fan base. The Raiders still present a lot of threats to this Denver Broncos team. I break it down for you in my 3 keys to victory up right now at milehighhuddle.com. One of the most obvious for me, it's a year in, year out basis. Max Crosby's an absolute animal. We're talking about the trade deadline. The Raiders just couldn't do us a favor and get rid of that sack artist named Max Crosby. Tom, we talk about it. I feel like I talk about it, beg about it every year. Like, wouldn't it be nice if Max Crosby got traded out of the AFC West? But here we are. 5 sacks in 8 games. He leads his defense with 13 tackles for a loss. He's more of a complete football player, Tom, than he has been. He used to just be the pass rush specialist. 6 passes defended, a forced fumble, an interception. He's got a nose for the football. We know he's got that little bit of a rivalry with Bo. Remember that last year in Denver? Mm-hmm. And Bo's changing the play, and Max Crosby's yelling at Bo. They don't know what the bleep you're saying. I loved it, man. That is the villain that is Max Crosby. He's going to be taking on our very own Garrett Bowles, who, as you know, Tom, is playing out of his mind right now. Garrett Bowles is, dare I say, having the best season in his long in the tooth career.
Yeah, absolutely. This is his best season by far. And, back when he got that second team All-Pro, he was helped a lot by the change in the philosophy of calling holding calls. But this year, that isn't the case. He is straight up having a great year. And no, I did not see this coming.
No, we were thinking, what's life look like after Garrett Bowles, and knock on wood for health for the big fella. But Mike McGlinchey, this Broncos offensive line, they're starting to make it work. And we talk about early offense, right? And I'm so tired of these fourth quarter comebacks, Tom. I get it. Denver's awesome in the fourth quarter coming back. No one's better. 4-0 when trailing in the fourth quarter of the season, right? Bo Chapman, that is 7-1 passing touchdown to interception ratio, a 105.3 passer rating. That's great. But I don't want to have a heart attack for the first 3 quarters every single game with this team. They drive me nuts. You look at what they can do on offense, and if only they could get in gear for all 4 quarters. This is a team who is still a top 10 rushing offense. I can't believe I'm saying that. They're 7th best rushing, Tom, 134 yards per game. J.K. Dobbins, he's a top 5 rusher. He's a top 5 rusher. R.J. Harvey, rookie, Quadzilla. He's tied with Cortland Sutton and Troy Franklin with 4 receiving touchdowns. They've got the firepower, Tom. It's just putting together in the first half that seems to be the struggle.
Well, part of it, too, is for some reason, Sean Payton doesn't want to stick to the run all the time. I mean, so you look at it, Houston. They had 4 runs, averaging over 6 yards per carry. And then they ran it once in the next series, and then once again in the next series, they just kind of completely gave up on it. I mean, really, that first drive was 20, if you exclude Bo Nix's runs, it was 20% of their entire rushing attempts happened on that very first drive. And it worked. They were gaining yards. And then it seems like, oh, well, that next play didn't work so good, so we're just going to step away from it. I thought, okay, they're coming back in the first half. Maybe they're going to do it again. They started to have some success, and then when you know it, they really didn't go back to it. So if you go back to the Dallas game, they seem to stick with the run, and they end up putting some points on the board. So I think that Sean needs to trust that the running game is going to work, even if there's a couple plays that it doesn't, because that seems like when he decides to go away from it.
I think any screen pass I see, I instantly think of you pulling your hair out, Tom, and just freaking out. And because remember, you're out on Sean Payton. I remember that. So it drives me nuts too. Predictable, right? I can hear you when I see these screens, and they're driving me nuts too, Tom. They were even getting after it in the telecast, right? Daryl Johnson getting all upset at Sean Payton for it. It's so odd that Sean is better at adapting in halftime than being the seasoned play caller to come out and stick to this amazing mastermind script. But wouldn't you rather almost have it that they're gutting the game out, right? It's look at Vance Joseph when he was a head coach, and for a little while in his defensive coordinator career, the big thing was adapting at halftime was a big struggle for VJ. The big thing was run defense. This team can't stop the run. You look at this Broncos defense now, and they're humming in the D line, Tom. This defensive line, this offensive line, this team goes as the big ugly goes. What'd you see out of that Broncos defensive line in Houston?
Well, I mean, obviously, you look at that goal line stand, and I talked about it too.
Which one? Which one, Tom?
Yeah, well, the one that everybody's talking about, and Dre Greenlaw deserves, credit for making those tackles. But if you look at the defensive line, and I call that one player specifically just because you gave me so much crap in the offseason because that I liked him. But the defensive line is where it made all of that work. They were the immovable object.
Who are you talking about, Tom? Go ahead, baby. Come on.
Yeah, my guy Wazirike. I said, they keeping him around for a reason. I kept saying that, and they like him. They like him a lot. In fact, I would not be surprised to see them not try and give Roach a contract because they think that highly of Wazirike because he's a free agent. Roach is a free agent after 2026 or in 2026. So after this year, Wazirike's got one more year left on his contract. But you watch those 3 plays in a row, 2 swim moves. He got into the backfield, assisted on one of the tackles basically, and then the last play he basically penetrated and blew that whole play up. He didn't get any credit for it, obviously, except for from me, because he wasn't there making the tackle like Dre Greenlaw. But that's where this all works, is that defensive line was the one that made it work. And the reason why Greenlaw was able to make those tackles and Hufanga could get in there, because if they were getting pushed back, it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. I mean, it defeated the soul of is that what Kay Adams said? Kay Adams was like, if you're a Texans running back, your soul is crushed, or something like that. Did a really good job describing it. Yeah, Dre Greenlaw, welcome, man. It's time. This is what you're supposed to be doing. I'm not going to fall all over myself because I loved him when he got here, but the way it started, Tom, I'm still a little bitter about it. I'm trying to forgive Dre, but for 37% of the snaps and getting those 4 run stuffs, a loss or no gain, tied for the best in the league. I mean, okay, I see you. Justin Sternad, man, still playing very good football. Alex Singleton, as limited as he is, he's doing quite well, and that's their guy, right? I know we would prefer an upgrade on this show, all 3 of us, but this is their guy. This is how they're rolling. Riley Moss, Brandon Jones, Hufanga. I mean, these guys. How about the rook, Jahdae Barron, man? Great job for the Broncos secondary and Vance Joseph when we were wondering what life would be like the next 3-4 weeks without Pat Surtain. But I got to be honest, Tom, I was a little confused today when I look at the injury report, and we're going to let you know which Broncos starting wide receivers not going to be in the primetime game tomorrow here in a second. But Riley Moss popped up on the injury report with an ankle. Didn't practice very early in the week, and then he was limited the last couple of days. Today was more so a walkthrough. Broncos can't afford to have Riley Moss limping around with an ankle, Tom. I don't know what the severity of it is, but Marvin Mims missing this game, I'm less concerned about that, more concerned about Riley Moss and this ankle.
Well, let's hope that he is okay to go and he's 100%. I don't know what the injury is. You don't get a lot of detail. He's a full go, so I'm assuming he's a full participant. He's not going to be hobbled out there. He can go out there and play. Maybe it's not 100%, but let's hope it's pretty darn close to it. And, they've got to weather this storm until Surtain comes back. And they're really hoping that this is a 4-week injury so that he's back after the bye. Surtain. I think that's what they're hoping. Otherwise, they'd have put him on IR. And if they did that, he would have missed the Commanders game. So I think they're hoping that he's back after the bye. So really, they've got to get past the Raiders. I'm not really worried about a potent Raiders passing attack or anything like that. I am more worried about next week. I hope the Broncos aren't, but I am a little bit more worried about the Chiefs coming to town with a hobbled secondary.
Yeah, got to get through the Raiders too. And look, I'm talking about Max Crosby. I'm making fun of Geno Smith. You know who I can't make fun of, and it was my top key to victory this week over milehighhuddle.com? Brock Bowers. The top key to shut this offense down. Flock to Brock. This guy went insane against the Jaguars, Tom, as you know. 12 receptions for 127 yards and three tutties against, I know, Jacksonville Jags defense. Big upgrade, not Dalton Schultz. How are the Broncos linebackers going to survive a good test? Because I know Travis Kelce's getting the wedding planned and he's not the same tight end that we're used to seeing, but I don't need a career resurgence at the expense of the Denver defense here in a couple weeks. This is a great test for the Broncos to get ready to be preparing themselves for two very, very talented tight ends in back-to-back weeks. How you feeling about the linebackers? You rolling with safeties? How do you cover Brock Bowers?
Well, it's not with Alex Singleton, that's for sure, because he is a freaking liability. Schultz burnt him so bad in that first series that it was
trying to be nice.
I mean, it was terrible. So it's not him. I'm hoping. I mean, they seem to have found some success with the rookie Barron on tight end. So I'm hoping that continues. I hope that I loved it when, back in the day when Shanahan put Champ Bailey on Antonio Gates, or, he's like, hey, that's their biggest threat. We're putting our best cover guy on their biggest receiving threat. He didn't care it was a tight end. That's what he did. So hopefully
PS2's done it to Kelce, to your point.
Yeah, so hopefully they continue with Barron on the tight end instead of trying to, he's too talented for a linebacker to cover. It has to be a rare. Go ahead.
You're going on one hand, right? Because you gotta pick your deficiency. Size mismatch with a corner and a much better cover player in Jahdae Barron, or are you going to go with the limited athleticism and speed in a bigger and more comparable tackler in an Alex Singleton, a Justin Sternad? We know Dre Greenlaw is not going to do it. It's just, you got to pick your poison, right, Tom? Yeah. Or can you do a combination of things? Can you work in a little bit of both? Can we get Hufanga, who's been a one-man wrecking crew back there? Can we just say, like, he's the demolition guy and Brandon Jones is back there with a surgical scalpel cleaning everything else up? It's truly impressive to see this Broncos safety tandem, who I don't think gets enough credit in the NFL.
No, they're awesome. I have loved what Hufanga has brought to the table. And we've talked about it all last season, like how surprised we were about Brandon Jones's play. And it's the same. He's still playing as good, but he's not making those wow plays like Hufanga is. So he's kind of lost in the background a little bit. He's playing great. So obviously they're going to do a combination of things, but if Brock, they just traded away Jacoby Myers. There's really not a threat on the outside. They need to focus on Bowers and make Geno Smith throw it to the other receivers and see if they can beat you. That should be the game plan after making sure they don't run all over you.
I don't even know who's the Raiders' backup quarterback these days. I'm feverishly typing that into Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I feel like it was I can't remember now. It was somebody.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Sounds like a Raiders quarterback.
I forget who it is.
David coming in with a good reminder, saying, guys, the defense so far, they've slowed down a lot of good running backs this season. What do you think we're going to see out of Ashton Jeanty? This is a guy that we both liked heading into the draft. He was my favorite back. I was wanting coach to go up and get him. And what the hell do I know? Because J.K. Dobbins is a top 5 running back with 695 rush yards as it sits today. Quadzilla, again, he's putting together a very productive running combination. When you look at JK and RJ together, both running backs, 900 yards, Tom, 6 touchdowns, and 40 first downs. I take you through the run game over at milehighhuddle.com. What do you think we're going to see at Ashton Jeanty against a Vance Joseph defense here in the Mile High City?
Well, I hope it's not very much because that should be the key. Again, put the ball in Geno Smith's hands and let him try to beat you. That should be the game plan. Whether he's thrown to Brock Bowers or the no-name folks he's got on the outside, doesn't matter. That should be the game plan. Make Geno Smith beat you, and he can't. He is turnover prone with this defense. The pressure that they apply, he's gonna throw some picks. So hopefully obviously Vance Joseph knows this. He should be prepared to shut down any semblance of a running game and let Geno Smith start slinging it. That if that happens, if they completely shut down the running game and Geno Smith has to throw, this is going to be a Broncos blowout.
It's going to be great because Geno's going to just get whipped up on. I have a feeling. And yeah, Tyler Lockett got picked up by the Raiders. A couple of weeks ago, we were talking about that on this show. He's definitely in the mix. Hard to know where you're at with things as a franchise or at least trying to analyze it. I would imagine if you're a player when you're essentially in rebuild mode here in week 9. It's we can't even say Cabo on 3 yet because we haven't even had the turkey, fellas. It's odd times there in Las Vegas, and I know Tom Brady's a minority owner. Not even 12 can right the wrongs of this franchise. That is the Las Vegas Raiders for you. I love it. I can't stand the Raiders. I hate them so much, Tom. You know that. There's no love lost there. I want the Raiders to get embarrassed. If there are chains out there, I want them to get snatched. I need Aqib Talib vibes, right? I need someone. I need Max Crosby, John with Bo, and I need Bo going crazy eyes. Who was that Bo was getting after on the road last year? Remember Bo went all crazy eyes? It's one of my fantasy football team pictures.
I thought it was Crosby. Was it Crosby? I thought it was Max Crosby, but I could be wrong. I just remember the freaky eyes.
They're great. With Bo, and have you noticed too about Bo? He's been smiling a lot more. I don't know what's up with that. Even Sean, I thought I saw a smile from Sean before he told Will Lutz to go win it for us. I wrote about it in my takeaway. Check that out at milehuddle.com. Phil, what's up, buddy? I'm hoping Sean Payton starts running and sticks with it. I also hope that Benito finally gets credit for another couple of sacks. Here's the thing, Phil, and I know Broncos country, we want our pound of flesh with Nick Benito. We want our award. We want our defensive player of the year to stay here in Denver, Colorado, right? Pass it from Pat Surtain to Nick Benito. Teams are game planning for Nick Benito now, but fear not, Phil McLaughlin, because you have a talented defensive line that's getting after it. We talk about Jonathan Cooper, Nick Benito on this show ad nauseum. The names that we're not getting into and we haven't gotten into tonight, but you and I both love. John Franklin Myers, that's my guy. You're kind of ready to get rid of him and kick that can out the door, Tom, and he's been balling. Now, are the Broncos going to pay him? Probably not, but let's enjoy the ride while we're there. Zach Allen, out of his mind performance right now, 99. And he gets banged up a little bit, tough as nails. I'm always worried when I see 99 go off the field. I'm so relieved when he comes back. What this defensive line is doing at the pass rush definitely helps. So if Nick Benito's being occupied, someone else is getting up there. But I'm with you, Phil. We got to see Nick Benito get back in the sack category in straight games. It's going to start with the Raiders.
Yeah, and you've watched Benito. He has missed a couple, right, in the last couple of games that he should have had. And he just missed them. But there's several plays that you go and watch. The reason someone got a sack was because Benito. So he's still doing his job. He just doesn't have the numbers, the big numbers that he was having. But they'll come back. He's, like I said, couple near misses. And you're right on John Franklin Myers. I thought, okay, they've drafted Savion Jones. He's going to be the heir apparent. They're going to develop him, and Jonathan Franklin Myers is going to, not get paid. Well, the problem is they haven't let Savion Jones play. He's had 6 snaps on defense, 1 active game, and that was because of an injury. He came in. So if you're not going to,
they don't need him,
develop them, then what are you going to do with Franklin Myers? They need to get him game time. And I know practice is good and all of that, but nothing is better or developing is actual game time. And that's what he needs. So from my perspective, if they're not going to if they're not going to play Savion Jones, they better make a plan to offer something for Franklin Myers so he doesn't get away because, well, I guess it depends on one thing. It depends on how far they go in the playoffs. If they go deep in the playoffs, then I think they try and bring him back. If they win the Super Bowl, they're not going to care. And if they feel like they're okay, we're a couple players off. It's not just keeping what we have together. then they may let him walk too. So I think it all depends on just where they end up. But I just have this feeling that they're not developing Savion Jones for a reason. Maybe they think he's 2 years away.
Yeah, sometimes they do that with these D linemen, right? And sometimes they work out, and sometimes look at your guy Wuzurike, man. He took some time in the cooker, and I know he needed to sit on the sideline for a bit because he wasn't playing nice with FanDuel in the NFL, and they don't play that. But it took some time, and sometimes it takes a little bit for these guys. You could be right. I know you can't wait to see LSU, right? Your guy from LSU, because him and the Broncos assistant D-line coach were both at LSU, if my memory serves, with Savion Jones. It's nice to have an embarrassment of riches on the D-line. And speaking of riches, man, a good rich friend of the show, Clayton Heron, saying, guys, smash that like button, share. We really, really appreciate you, Clayton. Thank you for weighing in. Here's a name I haven't heard in a long time. It's Tea Time Larry. What's up, our guy, Lawrence Rivera? What is up, Larry? Hopefully you and yours are doing well. Hope you and the kids had a fantastic Halloween, bro. The Raiders. I used to love saying it when they lose. They get all mad. They do. They get so mad. They get so upset, so offended. I hope Broncos country gives them the business in Denver tomorrow night.
You'd think they'd be used to it by now because they have been losers for years. They have had more. I mean, this one franchise, the Raiders franchise, was one of the best in the league for many years, but they have been terrible for a very long time. I love it. I hate to see that they have any success, but yeah, the Raiders fans should be used to it by now because they've done nothing but lose for the last 15 years, maybe more.
And their own city doesn't even want them. Like Las Vegas, you go to Vegas and you start asking, like, seriously, man, go take an Uber, take a taxi, take a limo, anywhere you're going, and ask them about it, right? And the guys, gals, they're like, we don't care about the Raiders. We know whatever. Yeah, go Raiders, I guess. They don't care. You watch the Raiders game. Like I was watching the Jacksonville Jaguars game last week, man. There were more Jags fans in the house. Yeah. And then Jacksonville, Florida fans in Las Vegas than their own damn fan base. I mean,
hey, that's where you can take your trip to Vegas, have fun, watch your team play against the Raiders who aren't very good, and then have a good time for a few days.
It's as close to a sure thing as you can get in Sin City is getting after the Raiders. Yeah, it's tough, man. The Raiders' third worst offense in terms of yards per game at 283. The fourth worst scoring offense at a whopping 16.5 points per game. The Raiders are not a good team on paper, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything on a weekly basis. These underdogs, these upsets, they happen. We try to prepare for it as best we can each week. But I'm feeling good, right? I went with the Broncos in this one. I know you went with the Broncos in this one, but we want to see a complete game. We want to see progression. And your guy, man, I don't know. How are we going to get to week 12 if Marvin Mims is out with a concussion? That moon ball to Bo Nix to Marvin Mims, man, it's coming up here. It's getting late early. We just want to see progressions. And I think Sean Payton, there's a common theme with Broncos country right now. You're running the ball very well. You're also stopping the run. Can we just keep those things together for a little while and trust that the pass will be there when we need it? Yeah. Sean has to stay out of his own way. And when it comes to running the football, I just don't get it. But Tom, I ask you this. Will Sean Payton have his orange pants on tomorrow for the throwback threads? Remember, he made a big stink about it, and you got after him too, saying the hoodie didn't match, the pants didn't match, and he got after everybody else who asked him about it, saying we need to come up with a different version of orange pants. I don't know, Tom. Bruce Pearl, I think, pulled off an orange pants moment one time. I don't think men should be wearing orange pants, but hey, Sean going to be in the orange pants club.
He doesn't have to wear orange pants. Wear freaking navy slacks and put an orange throwback hoodie on. I mean, for crying out loud, you don't have to go out there all orange. Just wear the freaking hat and the hoodie. That's all you need to do.
My kid went as the Lorax for Halloween, and I think of Sean and the Lorax. I'm like, I need Sean out there like the Lorax, just minus the mustache for throwback weekend. You know what's funny though too? The sleeves, right? We all know the sleeve story. Sean goes like 3/4 sleeve. What's with that? What's with the all their special little quirks that they have? We know Sean gets the fresh J's, right? The Jordans every single game. I don't know, man. This is feeling like a big primetime moment for the Broncos to just put a statement on their record, move to 8-2, where the playoffs start in 2 weeks. When the Chiefs come to Denver, Colorado, Tom, that's when the playoffs start. And I'm so grateful that we're at this point in the season where it's 7-2, Broncos versus Raiders. I'm hoping that with Sean Payton and Pete Carroll for the first time on the sidelines meets the Broncos as the Raiders head coach. Pete Carroll, he gets after guys too. Maybe the rivalry can be restored just a little bit, even though I want the Broncos to whip up on the Raiders. I want the Raiders to feel the sting, Tom.
Yeah, and 8-2, that puts them in the driver's seat. I mean, they have a shot at the number 1 seed. If they're 8-2, they get to 9-2, 9-2. That puts them in the driver's seat. I know that the Colts beat them, and I know that the Patriots are right there too. I just don't trust them as much. I don't know. I don't trust Daniel Jones, even though he's having a great year. I just don't trust that he's the guy yet. And so I don't know. I feel like the Broncos aren't getting enough credit for winning, and others are. And I guess it's because, they get the style points, right? They putting up more points, and they're not, getting lucky and winning at the end of the games. Well, I'll tell you what, getting lucky and winning at the end is going to help them mentally in the playoffs more than beating teams, blowing teams out. Because they are battle tested, they're mentally prepared. They're going to go out there and think they can win at any point, at any time during the game, and that's an edge. Whether you think that mental game is it's all talent, it's not true. That you have to have that mental aspect, being able to know that you're going to win. So these things will come back in and help them in the playoffs. More so than, hey, we just beat you by 20 points and, we threw a bunch of passes and it was a, aerial show and all that. I'd rather see them win like this now and learn how to do it.
And it's something you can lean on when everything's bad. I mean, that's when you're truly tested as a team, whether that's in a sport, at the workplace, or in your own household, right? When the times are bad and when you look at each other and you're like, man, this sucks, but I promise I'm not going anywhere. We're going to get through this. That's when you can truly see transformation. And I think we're getting glimpses of that as the regular season marches on. Roy Osborne, friend of the show, these divisional games are played tougher than any other game. Yeah, here's the thing. Absolutely. This is the second AFC West game the Broncos have played this year. They're 0-1 in the AFC West. What was that, week 3 that they lost to the Chargers by 2 points, I think? What, are they 4 points away, Tom, from being
last-minute field goal? Yeah, yeah. I mean – yeah, it's really 4 points away from being undefeated. But I mean, you just can't with the Chargers. The Chargers marched down the field and kicked the field goal, and they, you got to give them credit for that. The leverage penalty is what gets me. Like that one leverage penalty, had they not called that, it would have changed that game, and the Broncos would have one loss. So,
and speaking of leverage, dude, what was that in the Houston game? Was that not leverage? That blocked field goal by the first field goal attempt on our guy, Will Lutz? I mean, give me a break. When we're going to call it and when we're not, I can't figure it out.
Yeah. The refereeing, the officiating is just so inconsistent. And that's what is driving fans nuts. It's inconsistent. They don't call the same thing for the same, on the same different players, and it looks like favoritism. It's hard to trust that the officiating is doing the job correctly without some ulterior motive, because it's so inconsistent. And I'm not saying that they have it. I'm just saying with that inconsistency, that's what it breeds. And they don't, and the NFL protects them, so they don't have to face any consequences for it. Yep. So it looks like, they can do whatever they want.
Well, and that's why Dre Greenlaw is going up to referees after the game saying, I'm going to fight you guys right now because I can't do anything else, right? I mean, it's ridiculous. Dave, circling back around, with the Broncos win and the Chargers loss, that sure would help. Yeah, I typed it in. I didn't realize, what is it, Steelers at Chargers this week? I mean, Steelers, always a competitive. That would be fantastic. The Broncos have a 1-game lead in the AFC West over the Chargers. The Chiefs are hanging around, and the Raiders, well, they suck. So this is what we're doing. Go ahead.
The Chargers are getting banged up like they always do. They've lost both their starting tackles. So I mean, they're
devastating. How about Joe Alt?
Yeah, I mean, so you've got the Chargers are that team that just for some reason is jinxed, and here they are. That's happening again, and this is the opportunity for the Broncos to, like David said, put a little bit more space between them and the next team in that division.
Peter Johnson weighing in over on Facebook. Try not to make any jokes, Pete. The Raiders' trenches are rubbish. Broncos should beat up on them tomorrow, and it should not be close, dude. That's being generous, man. Rubbish. They're hot garbage. I mean, but it's the league. Anything can happen. The Broncos are playing with third string left guard at this point. Tom, I do like when Sean Payton tries to commit to the run game early, and I don't know if Peter, if you saw this too. How about him kicking Garrett Bowles out as the tight end and bringing your guy Palcho in? Your guy was sick. Your guy had a cold or some nasty bug. They were keeping him the hell away from everybody for the most part. I'm in Houston. I was thinking about you the whole time. I'm like, oh no, Tom's going to be so sad. Alex Palczewski's sick, but Big Cat played. I love it when they bring Alex Palczewski in as the left tackle and they just bump Garrett Bowles over because Garrett is so explosive and athletic that he can run cornerbacks down. He can get safety. I mean, we're not just trying to scrape the D lineman and get to a backer. I just need Sean to stick with it because Peter's right, man. This team goes as the O-line, D-line goes, and our big uglies are playing their tails off.
Yeah, and as the old adage, you win in the trenches, and that's the truth. I mean, and that's why the Broncos, that's why they had the goal line stands. That's why they beat Houston, because their defensive line outperformed the offensive line when it mattered the most in that Houston game, and that's why they end up with field goals instead of touchdowns. And so the Broncos have a better offensive defensive line than the Raiders by far. They should take advantage of it.
Is that attitude, technique, coaching,
talent, all of it
on the goal line stands, Tom? I mean, that just feels like attitude. That just feels like, let's meet in the center of the ring and slug it out, right? It's one of these things where you're just, I think of UFC when it used to be really cool, like actual UFC, like Stephen Bonner, Forrest Griffin fighting for the first Ultimate Fighter award or whatever it was. And you just see two guys come out and they're like, screw the technique, man. Let's just start throwing. And it's like, oh, who's going to be the last man standing? You're right. And they're proving that to themselves, but they're proving it to the rest of the world with different combinations, guys that are on snap counts, practice squad guys that are getting elevated. Luke Wattenberg is playing a little bit better. I'll give him some flowers. I'm not going to fall all over myself and say that Denver needs to commit, but he's playing a little bit better. It helps when you've got Quinn Miners next to you, who is playing particularly well, should get a Pro Bowl nod.
Yeah. And you're going to have people coming back too. So you're going to get Ben Powers back in December. So, I mean, they're making do with a banged up offensive line. I mean, like you said, they're down to their third left guard. Now, everybody else has stayed fairly healthy, knock on wood, but that the key is having everybody, in sync when it comes to the offensive line. And they've been able to do that. I've always been a big Alex Palczewski fan. So I'm glad that he's in there, but obviously, he was a backup but once they get that back, then you can start doing the same things they were doing with Palczewski coming in off the bench and being that extra offensive lineman. People were loving it. So hopefully they can start to get healthy again as you get into December and you start that stretch run. But even so, their offensive line has been pretty dang good, even though it's banged up, and their defensive line has been great. I mean, that's all I can say. It's been great.
They must just iron sharpens iron, right? Isn't that what DeMarcus Ware used to fall on in terms of 2015? And Jonathan Sullivan weighing in over on Facebook, man. Thanks, John. Anybody see old man Unc Mercedes Lewis rock Will Anderson Jr. on the edge last week? He's going to be a big deal in our run game. Yeah, man. How about making a debut? Now, it wasn't like a devastating Quinn Miners, I'm going to just destroy you, but it was impressive to see a 40-year-old player come in off the street, grab another man, and just take him to task against his will, dispensing justice, right? Isn't that what Mark Schlereth says? Just dispensing justice, dude. Mercedes Lewis. I told you, Tom, he'd make a difference.
I was sitting here saying he's going to be good run blocking, but I don't expect him to catch many passes.
Touchdowns. I suppose I could secede a little bit. Wuzarike, I'll secede on that. And okay, just watch out for Mercedes. I'm telling you, They're going to get him the touchdown. They're going to do it. There's a bet going on in that tight end room or in the coaching room, and Sean's going to scheme up a way to do it on Thursday Night Football, so that way everyone can fall all over themselves for the brilliance of Sean Payton and going to get these older guys. We all can see the graphics of Father Time and Mercedes Lewis in our heads right now on Thursday Night Football. I'm telling you, John, I'm with you. There's going to be a sneaky – Sean likes being sneaky with the tight ends. Nate Atkins, right? Adam Troutman, these unsuspecting targets he just has to have. Enter one, Mercedes Lewis.
Yeah, what is the oldest tight end to ever catch a touchdown? Maybe, or the oldest player? I don't know. Like, what's the oldest player to ever catch a touchdown? So, probably Jerry Rice at he played till 41 or 42, something like that. But yeah, it'd be interesting if there was some sort of interesting tidbit like that Sean Payton found and wanted to make it happen.
I think it was George Blanda.
Yeah, George Blanda, the oldest guy to ever play. He caught a touchdown.
Yeah, 48 years old and 95 days old when he scored a touchdown on December 21st, 1975. Of course, with the Raiders.
Yeah, that'll never be broken. I don't think anybody's going to last as long as George Blanda did. But he was a kicker for the last half of his career. I'm surprised that he ended up getting a touchdown catch somehow, or at least scored a touchdown. So, well, maybe it was a fake kick or something.
Yeah, I did not know that. That is interesting. How you feeling about primetime? Do you like these primetime games? Because I'm super excited for this one. It's coming at the best time on this win streak. The Broncos are undefeated at home. We talk about Mile High Magic during these home games. I feel like Broncos country deserves this moment. We've had to weather some very nasty storms the last 10 years, folks. 10 years. The Broncos have been trying to figure out how to get back to the promised land, and we think we're starting to see glimpses of a blueprint. So let's enjoy the ride. Let's enjoy the primetime action. Yeah, it's going to suck waking up on Friday morning, but it's going to be awesome heading to the office talking about those Broncos. It's going to be awesome living in a different state that's not named Colorado, wearing your orange and blue, rubbing everyone's face in it. That's going to be awesome. So, Tom, I'm thrilled for this primetime game. It couldn't come at a better time to a better fan base.
Yeah, and I am thrilled now, but I wasn't, the last decade, because they kept losing. So it wasn't fun. But now it's time to start enjoying it again, which is good. You don't have to be embarrassed the next day because your team stunk it up on prime time.
And you don't have to be embarrassed about your quarterback being a walking punchline, right? You don't have to be embarrassed about your head coach not knowing how many timeouts he has. You don't have to be all this silly stuff. The guys are staying out of trouble for the most part. That's good too. Everybody's seen, like, Halloween came and went. That's why I say that, right? We've had some fun Halloween here in Broncos country. Yeah. It just, I don't know, man. It feels like things are starting to get going. That's not to say that one loss wouldn't make us feel terrible, right? One loss, the world's going to fall apart. And I don't know, Tom. I hate to say it. I think the Broncos have at least one more loss coming, folks. I don't think this team is so good that they are going to win out here at 7-2 as they get ready to host the Raiders. Well, you get caught. Good teams get caught. And I'll be very, very curious to see when and if the Broncos get caught. If they do, though, it's not happening this week, and it's not happening at home. It's not happening to the Raiders. It's not happening with the Orange Crush 70s throwbacks. Are they undefeated in those, by the way? Are they really?
Yeah, the last 2 years, I think they're undefeated. Yeah.
Okay.
They've only won them a couple times.
The Mile High Collection in 2024. I think the players love it. The fan base loves it. I don't know why the hell we just can't do it. Just do the thing. I mean, we can't agree on anything in this life. We all agree that those are the coldest uniforms, Tom. I'm still wearing the hat. It's been 6 weeks. I've been wearing this hat on this show. I can't wear an MHI hat again because I'm afraid I'm going to put the bad juju on the boys.
Let's just say this. Everybody, it's not just the Broncos fans that love it. Everybody seems to love the Broncos throwbacks. Even other teams' fans are like, yeah, those are nice. I mean, let's say it's not just us. Everybody likes them. I mean, I'll be the first one to say, when I see a throwback, another team, like, oh yeah, I like those, even the Giants with the Giants written on their helmet. It brings back terrible memories, but I'm still like, yeah, those are pretty nice.
Not me. I'll go up to like the Philadelphia Eagles in that weird green. I'll be like, oh, looks like hell. You know what I mean? And it does. It looks like hell. So you're right though, Tom. I mean, like my wife, when she was out and we recently moved, right? So she's out and we're in Bucks country down here. And she's like, man, I get so many compliments. And she's got the 1970s Bo Nix number 10. My kid's got orange jersey as well, custom jersey, right? All that stuff. People are like, man, how about those Broncos now? And it's like, yeah, how about those Broncos as they're starting to cook? 7-2, 6-game win streak, undefeated at home, welcoming in the Las Vegas Raiders on Thursday Night Football. Guys, we are at our 5-minute warning. It is your time to get in those last takes, predictions, whatever y'all want to talk about. Head on over to milehighhuddle.com. Check out our 3 keys to victory. Real short and simple, right? Flock to Brock Bowers. He's got to be your top priority. Bulls versus Crosby, max protection, if you will. And you've got to shelf these fourth quarter comebacks. Early outputs are demanded in this game. We have got to see this team move the chains. We have to see this team execute. And I want to see this team give the Raiders the final kill shot that this old dog needs, because we got to put them out of their misery. They're circling the drain already. What better way to do it in the Mile High City on Thursday night?
Yeah. Put them out of their misery. Send them back to Las Vegas. Get them ready to, start their rebuild or whatever it is they need to do. Start firing people. Who knows? I mean, you never know what that team. They don't let coaches hang around too long. So
no, they don't. They just let your minority owners become broadcasters on Fox. I don't know how that whole thing works. How about a shout out to our guy or gal, Sentinel Supreme, saying, I will be at the game. Just found out I'm going. I'm so excited. Let's go Broncos. I'll be screaming that the Raiders suck just for you guys. Man, congrats. That's always awesome. I don't know, Tom, have you ever had that happen where just tickets fell into your lap or you got a phone call from a friend, a family member, and they're like, yo, I'm on the way to pick you up. We're going to this game, or cancel whatever you're doing tomorrow. We're going to this game. It's like, it takes you back to when you're a kid, right? And your parents spoil you. I know my parents, if I worked really hard, if I was grinding away at school, every once in a while, I got a treat, like a movie during the weekday. Pull me out at lunch. You know what I mean? And take me out to lunch to go see a movie. You ever have a homie, a friend, a family member just surprise you with tickets?
Well, I mean, the only thing I can think
you got some
the only thing
friends,
I can think of was we got lucky, and one of my wife's friends couldn't go to see Tom Petty at Fenway Park, so we got to go to see Tom Petty at Fenway Park, which was awesome. It was awesome. So yeah, kind of.
No, kind of. No, for sure. Growing up in Denver, man, and I played for Dave Logan at Mullen. Somehow we tended up to find some tickets. I'm not suggesting Dave had anything to do with that, but kids that went to that school, their dads were with the Broncos, all the loose football associations. So I got to go to quite a few Bronco games. I played on that field. I've been in the locker rooms. It's a blast, and it's a true Mile High magic moment. So Sentinel Supreme, very generous, $9.99 over on YouTube. Got to support the boys as well. Go have fun, be safe. And I'll say this too, as much as I hate the Raiders, right? It's a football game. Let's all have fun. Let's all be safe. Let's all make sure that we make it home to our family. And Friday morning's going to be rough. I know Friday morning's going to be rough, but it's going to be even sweeter knowing that the Broncos are the hottest team in the football. The Patriots, I'm not buying it. I'm not. I like Mike Vrabel. I'm not in on Drake May, Tom. I'm not. I'm not in. I would not give up Bo Chapman Nix for Drake May. Drake May is a very good quarterback. I'm not in Drake May's camp yet. It just feels like the Broncos and the Patriots. Doesn't it feel like these two teams are on a collision course?
Yeah, it does. I'm not. I like Drake May. I think he's doing a good job. I mean, you got to remember he didn't start the full season last year, so he's still learning, and he's doing a pretty good job. And I think Vrabel's got them playing really well. So, I mean, I'm not discounting New England, but it does feel like they're beatable, right? They feel beatable to me. And because they've been playing some I think their opponents have been lesser
Easiest schedule, Tom.
But I mean, you still got to give them credit for winning 6 in a row too. So you can't say, well, the Broncos won 6 in a row. They're awesome. New England sucks because they won 6 in a row and they got lucky. I mean, they're a good team. I just think they're a beatable team. Same with the Colts. I think the Colts are a beatable team. I think if the Broncos can get a good seed into the playoffs, they have as good a chance as anybody to advance, because I think every AFC team is beatable this year.
Just not the Broncos.
Just not the Broncos, of course.
No way. Right? Those 2 losses, total flukes. Broncos, we're up against it on the way out real quick, because we just take shots at the Raiders. It's what we do here in Denver. Tom Brady. Speaking of Tom Brady, real quick, did you see he cloned his dog? I did see that story.
Yeah, that's weird.
Bizarre is that? Dude, how much money do we want to put that Tom is trying to clone Tom right now to come in and get it going for the Raiders at some point? I mean, this is a crazy world that we're living in. Tom Brady's minority owner of the Raiders. He's a Fox broadcaster, and he's cloning dogs. That's the Las Vegas Raiders. He is all in on the Raiders, who are going to get blown out tomorrow, folks. Enjoy the game. Thursday Night Football. It's going to be a lot of fun. Head on over to milehighhuddle.com. Check out my 3 keys to victory that's published. Check out our roundtable predictions, where we break it down for you on what's going to happen in this game. Let's have a lot of fun, Broncos country. I want you guys to go crazy, have a blast, be loud. There's supposed to be like a cool air show, an award-winning drone air show that's happening at halftime. Wow. I've been told it's super cool. So it's going to be a special night in Denver, Colorado, and a fun show, man. I was super pumped to get ready for this one with you, Tom.
Yeah, me too. And let's not forget something that, kind of gets swept under the rug when the Broncos are winning. We've got 2 former head coaches for the Broncos that are the final 9 going into the, the final 9 of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. You got Mike Shanahan and Dan Reeves, out of 2 Broncos coaches out of the 9 that are a candidate for the Hall of Fame. Now, I think it's probably Belichick this year. They're going to put him in first ballot Hall of Fame guy, but
will his girlfriend allow that?
She'll probably present him at the ceremony, but let's not forget about that. I mean, Shanahan and Reeves, both great coaches. I think both deserve it, but we as fans got to not forget about that, because they tend to get forgotten about. And the next thing you know, people are complaining, well, why isn't Mike Shanahan in the Hall of Fame? Well, it's because we sat around and did nothing thinking that he was a shoo-in, and he's not.
I love it, Tom. Campaigning and lobbying always for our guys to get in the hall, because your friends, your voters, they screw us every time. They're not very good friends, Tom, and I'm never gonna let that go, guys. A good show. We're up against it. If you'd like to reach out to Tom over on X, please do so at Thomas Hall NFL. Yours truly at Luke Patterson LP. Don't forget Scott at Scout Kennedy. Head on over to milehighhuddle.com. Give the pod a follow over on X. That's at MHI_pod. Let's let the good times roll, Broncos country, into Thursday Night Football, primetime action. The Raiders suck. This is the way.
This is the way.